My name is Susie, your host, and today, of course, I happen to be alone in the house. If you like, using football language, I would say I am a lone striker in the house. A couple of stories coming down to you right here. All you have to do is keep it locked to there is a West Nile TV because we are here to light up the region for you. Down in some of the stories, of course, that will be rolling together with me up to there is the of 3 p.m. include some of the local scenes, national scenes, and international scenes. International, yesterday, by the way, to see to it that they, of course, also slide into there is the quarter-finals over Stanbic Uganda Cup. Meanwhile, the teams that represented West Nile in the next round of Uganda Cup, of course, we had Pajule Lions that are situated in Pader together with there is Pokwachi Youngsters. There, of course, in Pokwachi, they have traveled to there is a Pader to see to it that they get ready ahead of the fixture where they will be tussling out. There is Pajuli Lions. I will give you the squad that actually traveled to see to it that they get to book themselves another slot into there is the Stanbic Uganda Cup. Meanwhile, internationally, also yesterday, by the way, I don't know if our table leaders there is Team Liverpool. I don't know if they are aware or their fans are aware that they had a game yesterday. They played, there is Atalanta, and Jurgen Klopp's side lost miserably 3-0. That was in Europa League quarter-finals. Moreover, of course, the stories are coming through. And then also, there is a schools rugby competition or champions that is ongoing at there is Chisubi St. Mary's Chisubi College down in Kampala, where the schools, of course, are bringing their OGs and OBs to play in games together with those continuing students, and what also transpires there will be brought to you. And then also, in some over the updates, sadly, David Obua parts ways, agrees to part ways with there is a URA mutually, and who takes over and how will also come through as there is the minutes roll by. And then Ugandans are surprised and are in shock after it emerged that the shillings are 97 billion. Of course, that was spent on renovations at Mandela National Stadium in Nambole could not award the facility and approval by the Confederation of African Football. This is something we discussed yesterday, by the way. Some ministers came up and tasked there is the UPDF engineering department, of course, that was handed in this project to do, and they said the project would come up very soon, but then up to this date, the project is not yet ready for use. And even after it has been declared for use, it has not been cleared and licensed. There is by a CAF, there is the Confederation of African Football. Remember, Uganda, Tanzania, and Kenya in the Pamoja bid are supposed to host there is AFCON at 2027. Are we ready as Team Uganda? Maybe the rest of the other two countries that could be ready. I don't know for us if we are still ready, because most of our stadiums are still under construction and others are yet to be identified and built and raised their standards to the level of course, where CAF confederations can come through and, of course, clear in them suitable to host games. And then locally, UPL still continues, and then big league games are resumed. There is a big one on Sunday where Ndupraka Football Club, after having a 2 rapid wins, comes back home to play. There is a Ginger North. We'll also be giving you that. And then in there is the youth regional games on West Nile. Of course, they are taking place in Koboko. Today was the knockout stages where schools already finished the group stages and pushed through to there is the quarter-finals round of 16, where it is a knockout stage. You're beaten, you pack up your bags and leave. Because remember, schools reported on Sunday, yeah, and that is exactly where we are starting from. I will be giving you, of course, some of the updates that are coming through from there is a Koboko, where these games are ongoing. And remember, reporting day was Sunday. Games kick-started on Monday, where throughout this week from Monday, actually from last week up to today, we have actually been giving you updates on whatever it is that is taking place. The other side are the teams that are doing well, the teams that are being beaten here and there, and all that. So basically, yesterday we were also able to give you some of the schools that are doing so well in the girls category. Specifically, we looked at Arua City. Leave out Arua District. In Arua District, of course, threw a towel on our faces at the other time when, of course, Oshindi, that happens to be there is the champions of Arua District, fielded in an eligible player. Man, how do you guys field an OB of a certain school and you go also and play against that school? Hi, buddy, how do they call that now? But then to me, I think it was the mistake of this boy. He needed to come up knowing that their next fixture was supposed to be with the school where he once studied, being an OB there. So basically, he needed to come up and tell these people, no, you see, I am an OB of Mvara. Maybe you should field me when we shall be playing another team somewhere. And in some of the subsequent results that, of course, are pulled through or that were able to go down from Koboko, I will be doing an overview with, of course, fixtures and results that came through throughout the week from Monday up to this time around in Koboko. We're able to have, this is boys football. Of course, there are two categories being played. There is girls football and boys football, yeah. In the boys category, Obongi SS played, there is a Maracha and was able to beat Maracha 1-0. Okufura and Nyumazi played 0-0. Our comprehensive and of course Panyango, Hawa lost to there is a Panyango 7-0, and then Nile High beat there is a Wadley 2-0, and then Maracha SS lost to St. Thomas Aquinas 2-0. Idiwa of course beat there is a Nebitown SS 3-2, and then Beza Al-Hij and Odrav lost to Benjal Hij. There is 2-0 down there. And then Kochi versus Laropi was supposed to go on. And then Komboni Comprehensive playing. There is Oriagini beat. There is Komboni Comprehensive 5-0. Then in the girls fixtures, Mvara had a game with the Laropi SS, and that game ended on a 0-0. Kochi played St. Mary's Assunta, and Kochi lost to St. Mary's Assunta 7-0. And then Biaya and Olepi, Ajumani Modo played Yoyo SS, and that game ended on a 0-0. And then St. Luke Ofude played with Moyo High Star, and that game ended also on a 1-1 in there. And then of course, yesterday, there were, of course, fixtures that actually went through where we were supposed to have Arua SS playing, that is St. Daniel Komboni, and at Kochi grounds at 10 a.m. And St. Charles Luanga was supposed to play Nyangilia. These are some of the quarter finals fixtures, yeah, that are supposed to go down today, and these games started, of course, in the morning. And at Teremunga, Teremunga 1 playgrounds, of course, Mvara was supposed to play Obongi SS. I think that game is ongoing. And then St. Charles Luanga already played Nyangilia at Kochi SS midday. Of course, it's already 2 p.m. These are some of the fixtures that will go down today. Of course, some others have already been played, and after bringing you the fixtures right here, I will be also giving you some of the results that have come through that we already have at Awiso time at desk. Nile High Odia is supposed to play. There is a Paida SS, and then Luanga. At Luanga 1 grounds, there is a 1 midday, and then St. Francis Ayume was supposed to play. There is a Panyango at Teremunga 1, and then Nyumazi is supposed to play 1D Progressive 2 p.m. and then Daystar also has a game in there, and then Yivu also has games. By the way, it's raining heavily down in Koboko where these games are taking part. And remember, as the days started, March day 1 was supposed to be on Monday, because these schools reported on Sunday. It is supposed to be a 1 week's activity. Here we are in a round of 16. Of course, some of those schools that I have been able to read to you in the fixtures were the schools that are pushed through to there is the round of 16. The schools included St. Daniel Komboni, Arua SS, Mvara SS, Obongi SS, St. Charles Luanga, Nyangilia, Nile High Odia, Paida SS, St. Francis Ayume, Panyango, Nyumazi, 1D Progressive, Yivu SS, and of course Nile High Odia, and Oshindi of course, was ejected. Remember that earlier on. And there is certainly a very bad weather that is affecting these games down in Koboko. Remember, due to the bad weather today, there are more games to play in Group C and D. But then, if Kochi stands to drop points tomorrow, we shall see another derby at the round of 16. That is going to be a Daystar playing. Of course, there is a Kochi in there. Very tough games, of course, are going down in Koboko. Schools are seeing to it that literally they, of course, push through and they represent their schools and do their schools so well. On another notice, I would really want to appreciate there is the schools and, of course, every other stakeholder that has been able to go with their schools down there to represent in there. Because from day one up to this date around, we haven't had anything indiscipline related. Yeah, we haven't had anything that is indiscipline related. We've not had hooliganism acts being registered from the other side, and of course this is quite also good, because literally, if you look at the post-primary ball games in the various regions, you'd be able to bear witness with me that most of these regions, of course, are registered tear gas. Every person drank tear gas. Do we drink tear gas? I don't know. The other time we equally also suffered tear gas in Pakwach on Sunday, when of course we went to cover, there is a regional league game, Nyagaki Zone for Table Deciders. There is a Pakwach Youngsters and by the Black Angels. And this time around, like Adale said, a lot of disciplined. What should I say? There is a lot of discipline that has actually been registered in Koboko, as there is the user games ongoing. Of course, these games started on Monday. Today is a Thursday, and they are supposed. Today is a Friday. They are supposed to go down by Sunday. Today quarterfinals. Tomorrow will be semifinals, and finals will go down on Sunday. Where, of course, on Sunday all you have to do is sit down, keep it glued to West Nile TV. We will be bringing to you Koboko right to where you are, even in your phone, on your various gadgets, so long as you just, of course, subscribe to our various social media handles. Trust me, we shall carry the whole of Koboko. There is having these games and bring them right to you in front of your gadget. As you hold your gadget, you sit kaput and just watch in some of the live actions that will be coming through from the finals down in Koboko in there. Like Adele said, I already gave you some of the fixtures that, of course, went down. In some of the results, due to bad weather, by the way, games the other side have been paused a bit, allowing the weather to subside a bit. Earlier on, games, of course, went down where we saw in girls' football results. There were 2 games that went down. Nyarilo played Moyo Star, and then St. Mary's Idiofe Girls, of course, the overall winner and champions from the girls' football in Arua City. There is a St. Mary's College Idiofe. We saw them picking in the gong. They are beating Amvara Senior ISS. Idiofe Girls played. There is a Pakada City, and they beat Pakada 2-0. It is quite very impressive to see our own doing us very proud. And I think this time around, St. Mary's Idiofe Girls has gone in there not to play. They carried the trophy back home here, and they were the overall champions at Arua City post-primary ball games. And then this time around, they've gone into Koboko to represent their school in the regions, and they're doing quite so well. They pushed past their group stages, beat all the opponents. They have an unbeaten run, by the way, in the group stages, and they were the table leaders over their groupings in there. And this time around, of course, coming through to there is the round of 16. We are seeing them also beating the opponents for fun. These games were played in the morning, where Idiofe Girls 2, Pakada Seed 0. And then there was also Moyo Star that took on Nyarilo, and Nyarilo lost to, there is a Moyo Star 3-1. This Moyo Star is also a very tough school, I can see. They're representing very well. And I don't know, I am anticipating that they might face off with one of the best that is coming from Arua City. And certainly certainly not. It could be probably St. Mary's, Diofe Girls, whereas that are the champions are down here. And then also, there is the boys category, of course. Nyangilia had a game with St. Charles Luanga, and St. Charles Luanga, there is the host, balls out over these games. USA regionals are there in Koboko. I remember St. Charles Luanga, of course, was ejected somewhere somehow, and that is when Koboko people tested the tear gas. They got the experience of tear gas. But of course, for us in Arua, tear gas is not new though. Tear gas adrendia faziodini ko avadini awaloa tear gas vutase. The other time in Barifahia, where post-primary ball games are ongoing, mi muda knowing that mi blendi ya tear gas mvu le era le eko mprada katro indera katro indeko tear gas babani nido mvura. Teituru si kopo kwa aba St. Charles Luangani avire amesu asa da dibeleni saba kopo kwa rapini dibeleni tear gas vuzure Teddy Andrew kopo ko St. Charles Luangani ndera andra wiki of course he qualify koi muzidozo adiezo muzidozo avizo games de Pimalia regionals Pimalia Teddy eni ditezu host nderese eni di ba ndundu kala dikia izu ivu da yozu kyosi baye balo alunie mu paria azuri su darse baba di ini ba sudiki slot endita group stages epiki avia la by the way St. Charles wage biki tempira avia laba ebiki impira avia la and androse tedi beleno bitsi da di modu asizurete mega ini trodinde zukurati fekinga kiriba pini pari lazula nezuki nikiosi baki mwa ada peresa batu simpira ndedi pini deria St. Charles Luanga pima mupira dedi bani ya andrusibu wavikita nyangilia yobutsi anda nyangilia ndeki golo alu 0 nidini. There were a lot of social media banters yesterday about from the OBs of these two schools where people were putting in staking food, people were staking in money here and then all that, especially Erima Yepes Jr., who was an OB of there is Nyangilia, and then Eloy Akebs, who is an OB of St. Charles Luanga, and they said they are beating. Akebs always likes putting a lot of teacher for bad mouth thing. Akebs, you don't learn. Even the other time you put bad mouth like this, they beat you. Again today you were putting bad mouth. Actually yesterday you were putting bad mouth. Yepes side has also beaten you properly. 1-0. They've only given Luanga 1 Okoto. Luanga always don't come for my neck. These are some of course, the results that are coming through. And some of other games are still ongoing. Of course, down there there is in Koboko. But like I earlier said, we'll be, of course, bringing to you some of the consequent results coming through. Remember, the games down there have been paused yet due to bad weather, to see to it that of course the weather first clears before the games can continue. Leaving that there, of course, crossing over to before we do regional, we'll be looking at there is a Stanbic Uganda Cup of course. The fixture there is coming through to see to it that there will be a West Nile derby, a deadly clash between our Pajule Lions that are situated in Padir. They will be playing, there is a Pakwachii Youngsters, and in the traveling squad of Pakwachii Youngsters in the goalkeeping department, we have there is a Jakisa Ronald and Mungu Makwo Steven. These are the two goalkeepers that have been able to travel together with, of course, these are the two goalkeepers that have been able to travel with Pakwachii Youngsters in traveling squad. And then in the defensive line, we have Oyirwoth Alex, Owach Gude Dennis, Jakisa Eric, Jakisa Godwin, Okumu Victor, and Mungu Jakisa Alan. These are some of the names that you will be expecting to see in the defensive line of Pakwachii Youngsters. And then the midfielders, we have Onena Vivian, Okethwengu Brian, Ochanda Eric, Rothumio Parity. These are some of the midfielders that have been able to appear in the traveling squad of Pakwachii Youngsters ahead of the biggest encounter that will go down the history of West Nile in that derby. To see to it that one team is axed or the neck. One team packs up the bags and one team joins the KCCA and neck in there is the quarterfinals of Stanbic Uganda Cup in there. And then in the attackers, we have Onenrach Dennis, Odong Alphonse, Okiror Innocent, Munir Data, and then also Mungu Jakisa Yopa Mungu Gila, and then Mungu Jakisa Joseph. And in the coaching department, we have Hussein Baji, and then the doctors are Winnie Aaron, Nyonga Hannington, and then in some of the officials we have Majala Noah, Okumu, and Opio Isaac. These are some of course, the names that have been able to travel with the team. There is a Pakwachi, a youngsters that is related to play. There is a Pajule Lions in Pader ahead of their encounter. What are some of your predictions? What are some of your anticipation? Which team are you seeing packing up the bags? Remember, Pakwachi is visiting and Pajule is home. Anything can happen in football at the 90 minutes. And of course, more of the updates will be coming. We are briefly sliding off to commercial break. When we return, of course, we will be returning bigger and better. Remember, Daliaren told you that David Obua mutually agrees to part ways with there is URA.